freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Everybody, Dan and Cheryl Todd with Gun Freedom Radio coming to you from the 2026 SHOT Show in fabulous Las Vegas.
It's supposed to be like Las Vegas.
Oh, you did that well. Very good. You got to pronunciate it right? It's like Gun Freedom Radio. Anyway, we are so excited to be able to catch up with some of our amazing friends, and literally just this minute, Raelle Cunningham was walking by, and I said, hey, let's get on camera and tell people a little bit about what you do with Women for Gun Rights. Thank you so much, Raelle.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
This is so fun. And that's what SHOT Show is like. You know, you've got like 9 appointments, and you walk through the hallway and you see 5 more people that you get to catch up with, grab a selfie. And I love that we're having a moment to be able to sit down, because Raelle is the state director for Utah for Women for Gun Rights. She is also the Northwest Regional Director for Women for Gun Rights. She is a firearms instructor, and she also works with ASDI, the Armed Self-Defense Institute. Very accomplished woman and busy lady. Yes. And I just wanted to kind of unpack, what is it about Women for Gun Rights and the advocacy space that drew you in?
I think for me, it was, when Diana Muller first started, I remember I was following a few ladies and I saw them go to the Capitol, and I was like, hey, I want to do that. Like, I think that is really cool that they are doing that they're speaking for other women. Because a lot of the women who are speaking against firearms, they don't represent me as a person. And so I was like, I need to be that voice and represent my state and represent women who are in this industry who might not have that opportunity to go and just make a change and have that voice. So I really have enjoyed it. I really like it. It's probably my favorite thing that I do as a volunteer is using that time that I have to advocate for the Second Amendment.
Raelle, you guys are winning in Utah too, aren't you?
We are. We are doing pretty good. Our legislative session actually starts today, so I'm missing the first 3 days of legislative session. But that's bad. None of our gun bills are being heard this week, so that's why I'm okay to be here. We made sure.
I love
and if
that.
Anything, then we'll just hop on the Zoom and testify that way. But we do have some bad legislation coming up. Safe storage law, like mandated safe storage, red flag law, mag capacity stuff. It usually doesn't go anywhere, but they keep pushing it, so we keep fighting.
So we were at a conference not too long ago in Salt Lake, and what I learned is that the professors can carry at college campuses.
Oh,
right?
And K through 12. So our K through
awesome?
12 teachers can also carry as long as they have a concealed carry permit. Professors can carry. Students 18 and older can carry as long as they have a permit from the state of Utah. We do a provisional permit so that 18 to 21-year-olds can be protected when they're at school. They can't carry in K to 12, but they can carry in college. They can carry at their dorm if they have that permit.
That's a win.
Yeah.
That is such a win. And I'm looking at you, my own state of Arizona. We have been, fighting for these kinds of things that to me is true common sense.
Yeah.
Right? To have people who are trained and prepared and safe and, that they are their own armed security. We don't have to outsource our security. We are our own first responders. And in Utah, you're doing it right. And the other side would say, well, you can't allow guns on campus. It's like, well, the bad guys are doing it anyway, right?
Right.
But you can't allow guns on campus because, tempers will flare and there will be blood in the streets. And you're a real-time, real-life experiment in it not being that way.
Oh yeah, and I've been teaching concealed carry for about 10 years, and probably the last 3 years they have, as far as I know, they have allowed it on campus. And we haven't had any incidences of it being bad. People who go and get their concealed carry permit specifically, they're usually very responsible. They want to be there because Utah's a constitutional carry state, so you don't technically need a permit to carry in the state of Utah. But they go and do it to be responsible, learn the gun laws. Where can I carry? When can I use force? All of those things. And I think it's just, I don't know, Utah is really great. I hope it doesn't change.
Well, I want to comment that you are winning, but you also need to be there to make sure you continue to win. This red flag law is super dangerous.
Yeah.
And have you been able to talk to any of the legislatures about the dangers of the red flag law as they have it?
Yeah, so we are a very conservative state. So we have very few Democrat legislators, and those are the few who are pushing that. And so when we go to committee, we usually go and talk to most of the legislators ahead of time, and we say, hey, this is why we think this is bad. Can we get you on board? And then we actually go and testify in committee, right? And so most of the time it's not going to go anywhere because I think we have quite a few law enforcement who are actually legislators in the state of Utah, and so they understand how important it is for, like, how it could be abused by, domestic violence and that kind of stuff. And it's going to be used against people. So it probably won't go anywhere, but it's still important that we get up and let them know that we don't want it. Because if nobody's talking about it, then they'll be like, well, maybe our voters actually do want it.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, that's so important and so impactful. And I like to say that Women for Gun Rights is a leadership incubation chamber because so many of us, myself included, I would have never seen myself in my grandma years being a full-time volunteer advocate for the Second Amendment, but the other side, their push was so intense that I couldn't stay silent.
Yeah.
And then once you know what you know, you feel the weight of responsibility to show up and talk to your legislators, to write op-eds, to do all the different things that we do. And we've had several of our members, now serve in elected capacity, elected office. So I do think that we are an incubation chamber for finding our voice and using our voice.
I think it helps too that we do lots of trainings where it teaches people how to speak, and so it gives people confidence, especially women who want to be involved but don't know how to do it, and it helps them find their voice and get involved and then be more confident in what they're actually talking about.
So I have a complaint. I'm going to talk to Diana. I'm mad about
Diana
this.
Muller?
Yes, because it's Women for Gun Rights. It should be called Women and That One Guy for Gun Rights, because I want to join.
Yeah.
I want to be part of that, and I can't because
you're the man part.
Right.
You're not the whoa man.
I want to be that one guy.
I love it.
Well, you guys are doing so much. We can see the changes that are being made because women are getting involved, and that we need that. So
absolutely, and you were directly impactful in your state with at least one particular bill. Talk to us about that.
So we had a little spurt of where we had 2 children in Utah County, where I live, that accidentally shot themselves with firearms. It's completely accidental. It was one of those things where it wasn't somebody else doing it. They accidentally shot themselves, and I was like, we need to do something. And we had tried to pass legislation in the past where we would teach firearms education in schools. And we got a lot of pushback because they're like, well, we don't want kids to know how to use guns and all of that. We had hunter safety where they can teach that, but they don't want it. So I got with... we have a 2A caucus with some really great legislators on it, and I really kept pushing for almost 2 years. I said, hey, we need to do something. We need to be teaching firearms safety in schools to keep our kids safe. So finally, one of our legislators, his name is Representative Rex Shipp out of Cedar City, Utah, was like, I'm going to write this bill. Can you help us with it? And I said, absolutely. We got it passed. It has nothing to do with touching firearms. It's literally the basics, like the Eddie Eagle video. We used a video out of Ohio State that's like 2 minutes long, because that was the biggest concern for educators, was like, we don't have time to teach this. I'm like, teach it during health, because it is a health crisis, right? We don't want kids.
I mean, they're the ones that, the other side is the ones that named it a health crisis.
Exactly. And so that's how we got it done. We made it very short, made it very simple. Put really good language. The bill is like not hardly even a page long. So it's very simple.
The way to do it. So that was HB 104.
Yep. And it passed last year, so it is now in effect this year. So they're actually teaching it. My daughter, who's in first grade, they sent out an email at the beginning of the year, said, hey, we're going to be teaching this. And I was like so excited. I know. I was so excited. I emailed her teacher and I was like, if you need help, let me know. I'm happy to come in and do this for you. And luckily they didn't need me, but.
That's phenomenal.
I like it. So, my grandkids live with us.
Yeah.
And we don't own a pool. So do I not need to teach the kids how to swim because the next door neighbors have a pool?
Well, you're in Arizona. Of course you have to, right?
Right. So the next door neighbor has a pool. So it's like we should teach our kids that even if you don't have firearms in your house, you should teach them what to do if they see a gun, because then they know how to not handle the gun, but how to handle the situation.
It's just like the knife drawer at home, right? We teach our kids how to be safe around the knives as they're reaching in to grab a spoon to go eat ice cream, right? Nobody's freaking out that the kids walked into the kitchen where knives exist.
Exactly. Well, and if you look at it too, a lot of times when it comes to accidents and stuff, kids are curious.
Yes.
Because, especially if they didn't grow up with guns and they go to a friend's house and maybe that they don't lock them up as well as they probably should, but maybe they find a gun and then they're like, oh, what is this? And they think it's a toy or whatever. And so this is so important to teach them just, what do you do if you find a gun? You just don't touch it. You stop, you go tell a trusted adult. And it's really that simple.
Well, and if the video you were talking about out of the university is the one you shared with me where there's kind of like teenagers?
No, so the one I shared with you actually came out of our Attorney General's office and they had made it years ago and then never used it.
It's so good. So often these things, they come across as kind of dorky, right? Or not well filmed. This thing is amazing. I want my 11-year-old granddaughter to see it, and she's already gone through the Eddie Eagle stop, don't touch, run away, tell a grown up. But she's getting to that age where she's going to be going over to other friends' homes, and it even addresses like, so I know what to do if there's a gun presented, but what if my friend is like, hey, I don't know this stuff and I'm way too curious about guns and don't know that it's wrong to say, hey, come see my dad's gun. Right? Do you say, come see my dad's new butcher knife? Do you say, come see my dad's, chainsaw? No, because we don't make those things mysterious. And your shirt says it all.
Yes.
Right? What is our phrase?
Educate, not legislate. And that's so important.
That's the key to safety.
So when I was a kid, when I was probably 8 years old, my dad taught me if you see a gun, take it apart, clean it, put it back together, and put it in the drawer.
Especially if it's his gun.
Yeah.
Right?
So we were taught very early at age, that we knew how to handle firearms. So I think it's super important. But they think that if you just ignore it, that it will cure it, and it doesn't, because there's guns out there.
Well, some of the biggest pushback was we wanted it to be taught in every grade in elementary school because that's the most impressionable age, right? And we had so much pushback from people who were like, well, I don't want my first and second grader learning about this. And I was like, that's when they need it, because that's when they're more likely to have accidents. It's not necessarily when they're older. I mean, yes, there are still accidents, but you look at the kids who accidentally pick up a gun because they're so curious, it's going to be that first, second, third kindergartner.
Curiosity is a thing too. So if you keep something away from somebody, they're going to be curious about it. That's awesome.
So getting back to Women for Gun Rights.
Okay.
You are clearly all bought in.
I am.
And I'll say we, because I'm the Arizona State Director, we are getting ready to celebrate 10 years.
I know, it's amazing that it's gone as far as it has. I feel like Diana has she has so much heart into it that she, we have ebbs and flows where sometimes it's a little bit more successful than other times, but the heart that she has and the fight that she has to keep it going. Hopefully it'll be around for another 10 more years.
Absolutely. And so Diana Muller, our founder, 22-year law enforcement veteran. She is a professional 3-gun champion, shooter, competitor. And she came into this advocacy space because of the same things. Like the other side just got too loud and too aggressive, and it woke something up in her, and she's like, well, I'm just one woman. And a lot of times people stop there. Oh, well, I'm just one person. But she said, wait a minute, if I had one of me in each state, all right, now that's something. And so then she has us as state directors to bring in membership
And so now it's like, well, we have at least one of us in each voting district or each county or each, and that's where the needle starts moving. And she educates us on how to use our voice. And then I love mentoring women. And we have been a free membership, womenforgunrights.org, a free membership for all these 10 years. But as we grow into our first decade, right? The end of our first decade, there's going to be some changes there.
Yeah, we're going to start doing some more paid donation memberships because we really can't function without having a little bit of money behind us. We don't have that big money like Moms Demand Action. They get, I don't know how many $millions a year to fly people places. Like, really, it's going to be a grassroots effort, and we have to put our money where our mouth is. And if we're going to get people who are going to want to go to the Capitol, but maybe they live a few hours away, we need to be able to support them and to help grow the organization and help grow our fight so that we can protect our Second Amendment.
Absolutely. And we're keeping the free membership.
Yes.
But then if you want to invest in some, in a paid membership, then there's just all these benefits at these different levels. And it's going to be amazing. I can't wait for it to fully roll out, which maybe by the time this airs, it'll
hopefully
be officially announced. But we're also working on our biggest fly-in, our biggest congressional, what are we calling it?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, we called it a fly-in for
Yes.
10 years, and so now we're a congressional meeting, whatever.
Yeah.
Hold that
Yes.
thought. I will put it in the notes below. But this is opening, so it's not just one woman for each state director. It's all of our membership, but it is capped off at 200 members. So it's a commodity, right? And it is a grassroots effort. It's people coming on their own dime, like we have done all these years. True grassroots, that's how it's done. But to go to D.C. right there is an amazing experience.
Well, it's going to be the 250th anniversary, too, of the United States.
Yes.
And so what a time to go to celebrate the United States of America, plus the 10-year for Women for Gun Rights. Like, it is going to be you can't miss it. This is going to be an event you really can't miss, because you cannot miss what's going to be happening in D.C. with all the celebrations.
It's going to be amazing. And then to go to D.C. with a purpose.
Yes.
It's like a girls' trip with a purpose.
Well, and then learning how to talk with legislators. So now maybe some of these 200 other ladies could take that back home and be more involved and feel more comfortable to actually go and speak with their state legislators. Like, oh, I saw them do it. This is not as hard as I thought it was. Like, these are actual everyday people that I'm talking to. It's not like you're talking to some God or something.
Yes.
It's literally just everyday people that grew up in your community that you're able to go talk to.
And learning how to talk to people that don't agree with you.
Yes, it's very hard.
That is awesome. Some of the stories that Cheryl tells me, because I'm not a woman, I can't go. But it's interesting to me.
We're working on that as well. An
it's
affiliate program for men or something.
It's interesting to me because, you go to somebody like, somebody's anti-gun and you actually talk about how firearms are good for. It's interesting.
Well, we had a meeting last year with I can't remember what state it is, but we met with one of the lawyers, and she was the person who came out and met with us, and she was a closeted gun owner, and she's like, don't say my name, and I'm like, well, I don't even remember it now, thank goodness, but yeah, she's like, I'm a closeted gun owner, I'm part of some women's organizations, and yet she worked for somebody who was very anti-gun, who was pushing anti-gun legislation, and it's just so interesting that there still are good two-way advocates even on that side of the aisle.
You just don't know until you engage in a conversation and you find the points of commonality, right? We all want to protect what we love.
Yes.
It's the therefore where we split off.
Yep.
And so if we can accentuate, where we come together, it truly is moving needles, and women are the fastest growing demographic of new gun owners. So think about joining womenforgunrights.org. When you go to that page, there's a place that you can even say, hey, I'm interested in this trip, tell me more. It's not a commitment, just tell me more. And we are filling up quite quickly, I will tell you that, but it'll be early June in 2026. So this will live on the internet forever. So if you're showing up in 2028, you're like, dang it, I missed it. But I want to orient people in time where we are right now. Just as we're closing out, tell folks, can they follow you personally?
Yeah.
Or?
So if you guys want to follow me, or if you live in Utah and you listen to Cheryl's show, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm at Lady Firearm Utah, and I post updates about anything legislative going on or cool things in the firearm world. So feel free to follow us there, or womenforgunrights.org. Usually we'll repost my stuff on their Instagram as well.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for all you're doing.
Thank
it's
you.
Such important work, and I love that we get to do this together. It truly is a sisterhood. And
that other guy.
And that other guy. But everybody out there, follow Raelle, follow womenforgunrights.org on all of the different socials. Help share our stuff. It matters to get the word out. And stick around, because we've got some other great interviews coming up from 2026 SHOT Show.